Let me tell you, I was just gonna start a stream, and now in my feed I have two um, upcomings, 1040 and 1009. One called Red Bricks Flicks. That's what this is being on right now. And one I created was entitled. I'll change the title after this video. I titled it "More Chaos Created Because of Meltology," and I wanted to speak briefly on that. But before I do, I'm going to show you this red brick right here. Look at this red brick. Look at that. That's a red brick. It don't look red no more, but you start peeling these layers away, and there's the red. And maybe on a different video, and I have more of these and different transitions of them, you will see that it definitely went through a cook, a melt, and I don't know what it's going to take, um, because it seems like we have no journalists because they avoid this. Their administration says don't go there, because the evidence is so overwhelming. And I'll tell you what, I've been in this game of red bricks and meltology um, since 2019, but with the red bricks a lot earlier than that. Um, so it don't look like it's coming up in my feed at all right now. Let's see. Let's see if I can. Where's my remote at? Where's the remote go? Huh. Huh, 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 huh. Where the hell is the remote? Oh, right here. Let's see if it comes up in the feed here before we begin. So let's see here. Make sure it's muted because we don't want no reverb. All right. Okay, it came up on my feed under the red bricks one. What's up, Mr. Beast fan? Just kind of winging it. I was up messing with the furnace. Uh, anyway, so I'm up. Been up all night. I was at a dual birthday party today. Um, a grandson and granddaughter. She turned 24. The grandson turned 5, and we had like a dual party for him. So I ain't drunk no bean juice in about a month, so I'm having me a cup of this bean juice. So anyway, I got up, was playing with the furnace, and us meltologists, we're always thinking about meltology, and I go view, the regular characters that are uh, showing empirical evidence every day. I was watching Pants on the Ground and Mr. Meltology, and um, I looked at some of Phil's stuff, and I went to Phil's, that's Melted Inverted Realms channel. He's no longer with us, and I went back to his obituary, see if more of the Red Brick community made comments, but there's only 3 of us: his boss, Curtis 47, and myself. And I thought at least, we'd have some solidarity there, that every melt head that I know of would have had something to say to Phil, to the world. Um, we have another opportunity, even with someone leaving, to make a statement. He's even being handled by a redesignated red brick building. So if you're a meltologist out there or you're in the red brick game, please go to Phil's channel, watch his videos, make some comments, but go to the obituary. Go to his obituary and make a statement. Matter of fact, this brick here, it even has like a like some kind of odor, because I keep smelling like burnt something, and I hope that ain't my furnace. I don't think it is. It sounds like it's running good now. His igniter gets carbon on it, and then it acts up, and then it fires 3 times and shuts down. So you got to go in there, clean that up, and then she fires good. So, but anyway, I had things in my head, and then all of a sudden I was about to start the stream, and it just dumped. It just dumped right out. So I engage it again, and it didn't save it for me, and don't take it back because I'm using my smartphone. So how smart is that smartphone? So what's up, know thyself? What's up, brother? I just watched that one video you produced with what's that cat's name? Gnarls Barkley. You think you're crazy? Well, they think we're crazy, and we're crazy like a fox. Well, yeah, well, you should be in bed. I should be in bed too. So, um, anyway, this was not even planned. But you know, when something just gets written on your heart, and then YouTube stops it and dumps it, and then now this video is being played under just red brick flicks. That's just by default that I had in there, and I'll go and change it later to the more chaos is being created because of meltology. And this is the absolute fact. Um, and again, this is my opinion, and I assess this from what I've lived in this realm and what I see um, journalism in our, local and um, world views and so forth. So, since 2019, um, they've blown up many uh, redesignated buildings of the past. Even on Obama's birthday, they do that to destroy the past of these walls that are made out of red bricks that went through meltification. But they can't destroy them all. But where there's heavy tourism because of these red brick buildings and so forth, they create even more chaos. And that's what we're seeing over in Israel, blowing up the crap out of all those redesignated buildings, hitting Damascus, all kinds of areas that are getting blown up from that. And that was another alarming thing. Um, we have this thing called the UN, right? Where we have somebody who's trying to run, a woman's trying to run for a president in the United States of America. She was part of that UN. And that UN, they're supposed to be United Nations, and it's they unite towards their game of New World Order, not for what they do for people. That's right, Mr. Beast fan. MRL will be always missed in this reality. Apparently, he is ahead of us all. Um, Great statement. So, anyway, back to this Nikki Haley. So she wants to run for president, and that makes not a lick of sense. We don't want nobody in office that was part of that group. Okay, that part of that group, that's another one thing that Donald Trump said. We don't need the United Nations. We don't need. Look, Europe ain't even paying their dues, and what's that funding going towards? They can't go in there and say, hey, this ain't right. Well, that's what it is about. So when more tourists go over there, then they have to say, oh, that's because of bombs, and bombs did this and that, and write new narratives about these things, and they tell you, oh, the Hamas tunnels, they're in there blowing them tunnels up. See, because the evidence is overwhelming, and it didn't happen that long ago. And we have no journalists telling the story. I thought to myself, like pants on the ground. He's there in the Twin Cities, right? And he's melting it pretty good. So maybe all of us meltologists should call different radio stations and news outfits in that area making a wave. If we just flood these people with our calls saying, hey, what's going on with this meltology and this guy running around the Twin Cities telling it's all been melted and it's a lie. So I don't know, but I think we could turn the heat up, and I think we need to because they turn the heat up. Look, Ukraine, same thing. The YouTubers went in there and revealed Chernobyl and saying, hey, these buildings were here and showing you the melt and the underground stuff and so forth. And the next thing you know, we have this um, Zelensky, right? Now we have another reality actor with his little trident stickers on his shirts and so forth. You know, just and just more chaos and and you even seeing fake videos from Ukraine soldiers and oh, I got shot, I need a tourniquet and they're just letting them go and you know it's fake. You can even tell it's fake. And then you have Joe Rogan uh, and making these false statements. Oh yeah, said Mr. Beast fan says MRR says laugh out loud, getting the f out of here. Yeah, well, I don't even know what the narrative is how he died. So I have not been able to. They say he fell asleep. He fell asleep and he didn't wake up. Well, there's more to the story there, and I don't know, and I'd like to know, and perhaps if more of all meltologists, I don't know what happened to Phil. Okay, he was a pretty healthy man, only 60 years old, had a lot of life left in him, and um, to fall asleep and not wake up, I don't know, man. And it's still bothering me about, the reality of that. I even called the funeral home to ask questions, and oh, we can't divulge that to you, and so forth. So there's something more there that I don't know, and either way, he's gone. But you know how your mind won't let you rest. So I got a little diverted there, what I was saying. So let's see. I There's somebody I haven't seen in the chat before. Zoo Z. Did you see Native Face on Canadian Badlands? No, I don't even know who Native Face is. Um, and I'll check it out. Put a link there in the description box. But anyway, I was talking about like for example, prior to even being in meltology, if I said half the things that Joe Rogan says with his crew and Elon Musk, my channel would have been taken for misinformation. But they can help propagate misinformation, and it's authorized okay by YouTube. And that just blows my wig back, and that just shows me more that characters like Joe Rogan, they're not on our side, period. They're just in there to make a buck and have a gravy job doing absolutely nothing except, micro dosing on shrooms and LSD and talking crap. You know what I mean? So, while here, meltologists are in the field all over the place, telling the story, showing the empirical evidence. No geologist is, we have these dirt bags like a beagle, this whatever his name was, stuffed beagle or whatever, burnt beagle, blah blah beagle, talking smack about, oh, he's going to debunk meltology. And then we had some young boy who could barely grow facial hair. He said he made a video about he's going to debunk meltology, and nobody, anything that it's just some propaganda that they put out there, and they get millions of hits on it too. Mr. Beast fan, you don't know who Joe Rogan is? Um, Chill, bro. We will know. Did you go make a comment on his obituary? I know, you know. Yeah, Biggs is funded. Yeah, I know, and I don't get that. I don't even know how he could even have a channel that anyone would want to follow, because if you took any time to look at anything the meltologists were doing, oh, bro. All right, well, maybe we could, we don't have to talk about it over the airwaves and so forth. Uh, but I need to know just because I don't know, whatever happened, happened. And I don't know. I had things planned with them, man. I was going to go out to Ludington and we're going to go hang out and do some boots on the ground, you know. So, And I still want to go to Ludington State Park before they go wrecking all the uh, red brick past, because there's much there. Matter of fact, on the way to my uh, daughter-in-law's house earlier yesterday, there's this old building that's in the area where there's a lot of old redesignated buildings. They give it a date. It was built in 1928 or something like that, and it wasn't. And then another building, they give you, it was built in 1990, and that's a lie. And I have empirical evidence to prove that that's a lie, because I was playing in that building in 1976 when I was in the Boy Scouts. So how could that building have been built in 1990? See what I mean? And then the one just down the street from it is a redesignated building, and today it's a church. Um, they always redesignate it to be a church or in Salem, Salem, and we know this in meltology. But okay, what does ZZ see? Chad, volcanic triune shaped laser holes, aka volcanoes, are in the shape of a cross. Lasers shot into Earth and anti-gravitational equipment used to raise magma out of the holes and shaped accordingly. Um, yeah, they use technology to reignite some of these, where there's pockets of the melt that's still there, to reignite them. Yes, indeed. That's an absolute fact. That's more chaos that they create as a result of it. You put more debris in the air, and then you get to propagate um, your weather augmentation and climate change and all that, and not tell you what it really is. And even meteorologists through the years, they use new terms like new clouds, bomb cyclones, on and on and on and on. Um, so, so anyway, so we had Ukraine. Um, it was a direct result of meltologists. People can, that's my opinion, and it's not misinformation. You do your own legwork. I was in meltology since 2019. Prior to that, I was on my Chief Robert News, and then I had to create my Chief Joseph channel because my Robert News was taken down. I was showing that all the capitals in America were inherited, with pictures of dug up Kansas City, dug up this, and dug up that. All these places dug up. Yeah, no doubt, man. I got stuff sprouting here too, man. The other day I was out doing that tree that dropped on the house in the early part of February. And now I only got 3 big ass logs in the front. I got it all burned up and raked up and cleaned up, and it was beautiful out. Oh, you live in southern Ontario? I don't know why I was under the assumption that you lived in state of Michigan as well. I don't know. It must have you confused with someone else that um, Phil was talking about. Because I have new people that want to go do stuff by doing some boots on the ground. A lot of places around here that it's everywhere that I haven't been to, not doing a lot of boots on the ground because a lot of issues, trees coming down and furnace issue and car issue, and other people have issues, and then other people dying, and not just Phil, but other people that I know in this area. Um, some peculiar stuff going on. So, Southern Ontario. Okay, Mr. Beast fan. Um, there's another cat. Uh, do you know who? All right. Well, you got a lot of melted shit all around there, man. All through the woods there and everywhere, man. I know. You ever been to a place in Canada called Blind River? Well, my grandpa, he is from Canada. Okay, he migrated over here and for the auto industry and went to war, World War II, and he has some political friends there in Canada, And I think when I was around, I don't know, 14 or 15, I went to Blind River, Canada, and I remember it well. We were in a log cabin that was huge. It wasn't made by little people. Everything was twice as large as can be. A big old sturgeon boat was huge, humongous. And you know, you had to, little guy like me, I couldn't even sit in the middle of it and use the oars. I had to have one person on one side and the other side, and we row together. That's how big the rowboat was. Oh, someone, TLC, he's 40 minutes from Blind River. So that is some absolutely beautiful ground there. Wow. That man, I'm telling you what, I seen a wolverine. The only time in my life that I seen a wolverine in the wild, and it and I was jumping off melted buildings, by the way, on the where this cabin is. Well, there's hardly no houses around where this cabin is, uh, and it is absolutely gorgeous. And the water, I mean, we were catching northern pike and all kinds of fish, and I seen a sturgeon for the first time in my life, and it was just huge. I was getting ready to get pulled by, skiing. And I looked down on the dock and I thought, what the hell is that log doing there? I mean, it was a big ass fish. I didn't know it was a fish. It looked like a log. And then I looked and the gill fins come out and they pulled me at the same time. And I panicked and I dropped right on that thing and it skirted out of there. And it was like, it was freaky. I know that sturgeon wouldn't hurt me none, but it was bigger than me. It was humongous. So I always remember Blind River. So, well, I don't know, like where we were at. It's a big old cabin, and it's unmistakable because it's big, and with bigger doors and so forth. Yeah, I'm sure so much has changed, but there was hardly nothing. I'm 59 now, so I always thought to myself I'd like to go back there one day just to see that area and look around more because some of the places I was diving, I remember the first time I dove into that water off that melted uh, building. I hit the water. It shocked the crap out of me because it was so freaking cold. I mean, and it was way up, so I went way down in the water. I was like, I could barely hold my breath before I got to the top from the shock of the water. And I only did it one time because it was that cold. I didn't jump back into that water. You know, it was freaking cold, man. And just pristine. You could see the bottom where I was at anywhere. And we caught clams and we had fish and we had a really good time there. I remember that. So, but see how we got diverted a little bit, but that's okay because that's reflection. Because I reflected in my mind when I became a meltologist of all the places I've been in this realm. I've been to Miamisburg, Ohio, where there are some of the largest mounds in the world there that they give you this garbage narrative about. Um, I live in the suburbs of Detroit, Michigan. So, and there's lots of meltage everywhere around here. I mean, all these lakes that were interconnected. You have bridges, tunnel ways. We have in Warren and all different places. We have it's another sinkhole. They'll say. And matter of fact, a couple years back, a whole house went down, and the father was inside, and they could never find the guy. They said. So, what size of a sinkhole was that you can't find the guy, huh? And uh, I don't know if they have that written up today, but I'll tell you that they couldn't find him, and the family was distressed and distraught about it. I mean, what size of hole would it go down and then quarantine the whole area off? You can't go in there and do a red bricks boots on the ground looking for red bricks. But anyway, prior to someone making a comment. I was driving over to my daughter-in-law's house, and there's a restaurant bar that's old, redesignated building, and they're in the midst of fixing it up. But they were digging in the front by the walkway, and they had a hole about, I don't know, maybe 5 foot deep, about 5 foot wide. And when we were driving by, red bricks everywhere they're digging up, just red bricks everywhere. And here's one of them right here. You know, you see that's definitely a red brick, and there's more like this everywhere over there, and other melted stuff. And it's just incredible. And there's a red brick that went through the melt. And I just did a video on my channel a couple, I don't know, maybe a week or so ago, about a restaurant on M59 in Waterford, Michigan, um, next to McDonald's, that they're redesignating it again and fixing it up, but they're fixing it up to look melted. Okay, it was a melted building, but they've even imported bricks from Detroit and other areas that look more melted, and they added to the facade, and they still have a bunch of them stacked in the back. I'm gonna go look at some of them again. I want to make a trip back over there and try to get some more bricks from there. See, and look at that brick. That just, to me, this brick is just another amazing one, um, of what it went through, you know. So, and they have other stuff that I found from my backyard when I was digging a hole years ago, and I was 27 years old on this property here. I dug a big old hole to get rid of a whole bunch of leaves and to make a worm bed at the same time for fishing. And when I was down there digging, I found red bricks. I showed it before on one of my videos. Looked like some large tooth. Um, just the weirdest thing. What it looks like is Petoskey. If you know what Petoskey is, they say you only can get Petoskey from Petoskey, Michigan. Well, that's a lie. You got it right here, and we're not in Petoskey. So, yeah, see, it looks like TLC put something out there like you're vomiting. Because where I live, yeah, some areas where I live, some of the areas are real putrefied, and it's disgusting. Gentrification happens everywhere. And anyway, and that's another big issue. Why all this gentrification to run people out of these areas where there's redesignated buildings. So when the meltologists tell you, look at the foundation and look at the cornerstones, and you'll see that after the melt, man came in there and fixed it up and moved it in. Yeah, Great Lakes is the shape of 72. Well, they'll tell you that the Great Lakes were carved out by an ice age, and that's another complete erroneous statement by those people who call themselves historians and whatever they want to call themselves, archaeologists, geologists. Um, that's baloney, because it's melted building everywhere, everywhere around that, everywhere. It don't matter. You go to the UP, there was railroad tracks laid out. Detroit was here. Um, all these buildings were here, you know, and it wasn't that long ago. And what helps to determine that is these Freemasons. They continually augment the timelines of when these buildings were built and constructed, and how quickly they were constructed. And that's another big thing that is empirical evidence to, liars always have to change their story. So that's what's been happening over and over. And then if you start doing your big research, like when I was doing it on my Robert channel, I seen that they have too many timelines of things being built. Yeah, founded, found dead. Yeah. That's a good one, Mr. Beast fan. So when I use the phone, I don't have the ability to say nothing in the chat, and that sucks. So, so I got distracted again. Why? Because I'm tired. So, I just wanted to say that, and I guess Eli didn't pop back up. He must be fishing, man, or dancing with Ginger Grin. So if you're out there, Eli Buchanan, what's up, brother? How's it going in New Zealand? Um, and we got another guy on board from Japan, melting it pretty good, showing you a lot of empirical evidence in Japan, all the tourist attractions, um, roadways that are on the side of a melted building, and you know that that was part of train infrastructure, or 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 who knows what else, but it was part of a infrastructure that existed not so long ago, because it's the same everywhere. You know, um, you see some of these areas where they're blowing up in Damascus. It looks like buildings here in Detroit. You know, you go to Norway and you see buildings that look like they're here in Detroit and Cincinnati and St. Paul and all over the same thing. Yeah, New Zealand seems nice. And what's that? Zoo Z says South Africa is the right foot of a huge bear superstructure. See toes and head is Siberia. And look at the map of Earth and see Ross and bear superstructure. All right. Well, I did a lot of stuff with AIs and my own investigating in regard to what they call tectonic plates. And you start pulling all these tectonic plates towards one another, you see it was one big structure. And then the shit hit the fan enough that melted this realm, bust our veil, and flood this realm and put out that melt. So that happened quickly, both the melt and the flood. Um, and we're still drying out from the flood to this day. All the moving water from these huge, colossal infrastructures of buildings, many of the water infrastructure is still working. You still have piping by the Niagara Falls with the um, natural gas, methane gas, where there's fire going. Um, if you put that fire out, it would just be kicking methane gas in the air, so they have it lit. You can go there and look at it yourself today. It's still functioning. It's not something we did. We just, you know, re-engineer it. We wreck. We shut down Niagara Falls for a while, and went in there, and there's pictures of it. When you see, there was look like building and office complexes, and then the falls going over top of it. Huh? And you investigate more underneath those sections, you see that's the absolute truth. That was all just marvels of engineering. Yeah, Mr. Beef's fan. Yeah, there's many beautiful spots in Canada. I've never been to New Zealand, but I've been to Vancouver. I've been to Canada. Um, been to Ontario. Been to Toronto. Where else I've been there? Blythe River, and that's about it. So I would like to do more, but you got to have money to do stuff like that. So we're on limited funds right now. So anyway, it was more chaos is being created out of because of meltology, and I first discovered meltology way back before I knew what name was or nothing like that. Because as a youngster hitchhiking, I said, "That's a melted building." I said, "That looks like a melted building." Way back when I was 16, 17 years old. Didn't have no terms of meltology. We didn't have no smartphones. I was hitchhiking in the raw where there was telephone booths and so forth. Um, but then years go by, and doing my channel on Robert News, I run across Jerry DeCamp and Spartan Red. Uh, Today we call him Laughing Eagle. He just had a stroke. Uh, and I see he's smoking again. I wish he'd give up them cigarettes, because that was probably the direct result of his stroke, is them cigarettes. And I don't know. I hope he just puts some cigarettes down. I'm visiting a friend of mine. Um, Whenever I get a chance, he's at hospice care. He's dying, um, and it's not good. He's dying of brain cancer, and um, one of the direct results of it was these cigarettes. And his sister, his sister's not. She's going through some experimental medical stuff, where she had smoked menthol cigarettes in these vape things that are flavored. Oh yeah, you hitchhiked from Elliott Lake to Thunder Bay. Well, then you know what it's like hitchhiking, bro. I've hitchhiked from Detroit, Michigan to Oxnard, California 2 times, there and back. 4 times from Pontiac, Michigan to Hurst, Euless, Bedford, in between Dallas and Fort Worth, 4 times in my day. Before, yep, in a very short span I did that, and it was just because and that's a video all by itself. My life was chaos because of weird teachers. I started skipping school. I started skipping school because one of these Tinkerbell teachers, he came on to me. I didn't even know what gay was at the time. Okay? So I wrecked his office. I was so distraught about it, I didn't know what to do. I can't tell my parents because the teacher had me go score some marijuana and bring it back to the school. So he wrote me a pass, and he said he'd write me a pass back to class when I returned, and he gave me the money. So I told him it was $25 for a half ounce. It was only 20, so I pinched him $5 and then pinched his bag. When I brought it back, he tried that Tinkerbell shit, right? And it freaked me out. I don't know what the hell that was about. So thank God that guy, anyway, thank God that God moved my mind, or you would have never probably heard about me, because I went down there with a 22 and had the scope on his head and decided not to do that. Okay? See? So he didn't get a round in the head for what he did to me, and I was just a kid then. You didn't hear about shooters and stuff like that, and I would have been a kid shooter, but I had enough sense to say no, I wasn't going to do that. So I just didn't go to school. Well, after I didn't go to school, I got arrested for truancy, and they threw me in a juvenile detention center. Well, I lasted a day and I escaped. Then they caught me and they put me in maximum security. Well, then I escaped again, and then I fled the state of Michigan, and when I returned, I was 17. So they had another little hearing on me, and they said next time I mess up, I'll be going to jail and prison. So and that happened as well, and I entered a couple more redesignated buildings that we deemed to be prisons, like Jackson Prison. It was the largest walled prison in the world, and that was a building that was here that went through the melt as well, just like Marquette, Michigan. It went through the melt, and I lived in those places. And then to reflect on that, before I came to this America, in Giesenland, Germany, there's a castle named Schloss Park. Yeah, yeah. They, some of these people who are running these juvenile detention centers back in my day, all the administration should be rounded up and locked up, and 10 years should be given to them. Zuzi says, she asked me, am I a Native American? Well, I have a lot of stuff flowing through my DNA. My, my great grandma was a black Cherokee. Um, um, and then on one side, and then on the other side there was Welsh, and then on my mom's side was Prussian, German. So I don't know what you call me. You know what I mean? I was born in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Um, you know, I have, I have a cousin that's Samoan. She's blacker than most of these people who say they're black. And she's not from, Africa. She lives in Hawaii. She's about 6'2", and she probably could beat most of the guys I know around here's ass, 'cause she ain't no, girly girl. But she's very, very beautiful. She's not fat, but she's not skinny. She's just a beefy girl. So yeah. I mean, I got a lot. So I'd be a mutt then, right? I'm a mutt. A lot of different things in me. But you know what? The biggest thing in me today is meltology. Ah, they say, what are you? I'm a meltologist. What's your sign? I'm a meltologist. Huh? People, oh yeah, I looked that up and it's a restaurant making, you know, melting cheese and stuff on food. See, that all came, you go look at the history of that, they'll come up with names and um, want to show you, um, you know, they're not, nobody's stepping up, just things to convolute it. Even YouTube, we had this hashtag meltology. You punch it up first and not our meltologists come up first. Stupid stuff comes up first to further muddy the waters instead of keeping it true with hashtag meltology, and that's an absolute fact. I've seen it denigrate with who's ranking first in regard to when you hit uh, hashtag meltology. Go do it right now. Go hit hashtag in your YouTube search. Put the hashtag meltology in there and see who comes up first. It ain't our people. Even like Beagle comes up there, and that other young kid who said, "Oh, I'm going to debunk meltology." He can't debunk nothing. They can't debunk this. It's everywhere. You'd have to, you know, you'd have to eliminate all the people to eliminate this truth, and perhaps that's their agenda. I don't know what their agenda is, except they want to bring us a new world order, and we do need some real order, but not in the hands of those people running the show. Period. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say earlier. Here, Israel's got a commercial out, um, or actually, it's called the Christian Jewish Coalition for Jews. They're using commercials from the 1970s. Say, please send money to the Holocaust survivors of World War II. Man, since 1948, the United States of America has sent Israel over $300 billion just for war, just for fighting. Huh? So that experiment needs to be shut down. They've caused nothing but, look, the whole world don't like them now. Look what they're doing. Every place around here is, saying, oh, free Palestine. But the UN says, oh, we're not going to stop that. Huh? See? But we're not going to stop that. You know, we play the role of um, the liberators, huh? Cause a problem and then come along and say they're liberators. You know what I mean? So Oh, we got a Leon F. Bean. What's up there, Mr. Bean? Yeah, I hear you. No more war. You know, you reflect on my own family. My grandmother in World War II lost two brothers. Uh, Her husband, my grandfather, my opa, was captured and tortured by white American soldiers and then handed over to the black American soldiers, and they treated him kindly. They gave him cigarettes. Um, and the one cat that he was turned over moved to Germany and was my grandfather's friend in Germany. And I met him when I was 5 years old. And they both concur that the United States works for the octagon. Okay? You know, people talk about it's a two-headed monster, but perhaps it's a three-headed monster, and that's why Zelensky carries around that trident, that trident symbol on all his equipment now and so forth. You got the three-headed beast. Maybe it's a ten-headed beast, you know, with these people on board claiming to have different countries and fleecing our money and so forth. Look at the NASA program. How much that costing us a day? You know, well, I'm gonna smoke a. See this here? It's not a cigarette. I didn't have no rolling papers. I didn't have no rolling papers, so I have a machine where you can put some marijuana in, but it's for tobacco. It gets it sticky, so you only can make about 3 joints before you have to tear it apart. Excuse me. So I rolled it in that roller, and it came out pretty good. But when you get to the end, you got to put it out early because that marijuana will start melting that butt. And I just leave the filter right on it. So I don't think the glue in the paper is so good because they got them lines in the paper. Where's the camera? Them little lines there? That's glue to make it burn a particular rate. They got it all sewed up to keep us addicted to shit. Well, that's good, Mr. Beast fan. Um, Mr. Beast fan says he doesn't recognize hate or war. Well, I can hear that statement, but I don't even know how to take that statement actually in my own heart because I recognize, the madness. I hear what you're saying. That I think it's just pathetic. You know, my grandfathers were warring against each other, and both were captured and tortured by, my grandfather was, on the American side, was tortured by Japanese people. My woman's father, he was captured at Normandy and tortured by Japanese soldiers. And when he came back to America, he wasn't the same man, and he drunk himself to death. At the age of 48, he was dead. And he had horror stories of, they fed him worms and I guess that was good compared to what my grandfather went through. So it's pretty sick. So I hate war too. My parents, my uncle Don and them, when I was 17, they wanted to get me in the military, and I was already had PTSD from all the horror stories I heard from war. So when they took me to take the ASVAB exam, if they asked me what color the sky was, I'd tell them red. I failed deliberately, and they said, "Oh, you're not smart enough to get in the military." I said, "Thank God, because I don't want to be captured. I don't want to kill nobody. You know, no, nope. I don't want to harm nobody, man. You know." Oh yeah, yeah. That term Indian too. The controllers used that back in the day. Um, Here in America like they were doing in India. So they just kind of kept that label. You see all the melted and all the crap that they pulled there, you know, and all the narrative lies they given us about it. Look, even in here in America, They are so brainwashed that these many people who claim to be Native American would say, well, they lived in teepees and lived a certain way. They were living in these buildings. They were living in these red brick buildings and fixing them up. Maybe they just didn't fix them up so good in some areas, but they were living in them. So, then we had all these orphan trains all over the world. And, yeah, it's a title. I hear you, sir. Just like, like, what do I say? What flag do I fly if I have, you know, Native American in me, Welsh in me, German in me, Prussian in me? It's like, I should have a red brick flag. I've been melted into different groups of people, you know? So, anyway, so, yeah, part of the programming. I know we've all been programmed. This TV, the TV, man, has corrupted the world, man. People still think that, there's space and here America said they're going to go back to the moon and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. And NASA, the only thing they really brought us is Tang and a big bill, and Tang ain't even good to drink. But you know what it is good for? It's good for cleaning a dishwasher. A plumber told me that I worked for before, and I tried it, and it works great. I have used Tang to clean my dishwasher. I have a dishwasher. I don't use it that often because it's just Linda and I here most of the time, and we just eat something and clean our dishes up, just real quick. So I don't really use that. Yeah, well, on the Welsh side, from my Jerry Cox, he's dead too. My father, my real father. Um, it said that there's some Scottish in us too. So I don't know. I did one time many years ago see some one of those, not from Ancestry.com. He did his own little investigating when he went to I think it's Santa Barbara University in California, or one of those universities in California. My dad was a lifelong learner because he did 25 years in the military. He could have education for free, so he stayed in school. My dad had 4 master's degrees and a handful of bachelor's degrees, and he didn't do that to earn money. He did that just because he wanted to know shit. I thought my dad was crazy when I was a kid. I called him my X Files father because he talked about chemtrails and all that stuff back in the 70s. What's up, Curtis? What's up, Curtis, brother? This is just a kind of unprepared thing. I had some issues going on with my furnace, so I didn't sleep. Seen a bunch of red bricks today, or yesterday rather, in Waterford, Michigan. They were digging up this old restaurant they're fixing up. Oh boy. And then I watched Pants on the Ground doing this one by this bridge, and he just showing the whole wall of meltification and where they fixed it up with some concrete that doesn't look like the same of the melted concrete, and bricks riddled all through there. And it's just amazing, that it's been unseen for this long. And that's where it comes in my mind to say, hey, I seen rabbits in your driveway. Nice. The other day, speaking of rabbits, the other day I was on my front porch there. I had my dog out, and I was looking at the tree that needs to come down, and I'm shy some funds to get it down, and I'm not going to crawl up that tree. I mean, I used to do that for, when I was younger, crawl, with spikes on my feet and get up in these trees and cut them down, but that one's just too dangerous. And I don't know. I don't want to push my luck because 2 trees in my yard already tried to kill me. But anyway, a red-tailed hawk come around the corner. and I looked up and I ducked at the same time it went up, or it would have smacked me in the face. It was holding something. It was holding either a dead bird or a dead rodent, but it was just awesome. And that just happened last week. So it was pretty powerful. Yeah, I'm gonna hire someone. Yeah, yeah, definitely. My climbing days are not, I'm done with that. Get oiled up, bro. I'm coming over. Why isn't it possible? Well, I don't know who you are, but nice. Where my brother lives on the Tippawasee River, he sees bald eagles all the time. And that's in Hay Township. Leon F. Bean says it's 417. Well, where are you hailed out of there, Leon? Um, you gotta be west of me. So 417. What's it? What time is it here now? Almost 7. Quarter to 7. Well, that's great that you thought of MIR, because I thought of them too. The other day while I was looking out, I was thinking about where my brother lives, and there's a national forest in his backyard, and that's what uh, Phil had in his backyard, a beautiful national forest. So that's why he had a hard time getting reception near all them damn trees. No, I never did no DMT, and uh, I never did stuff like that, man. Matter of fact, I've slowed down on everything. I hardly smoke any pot anymore, and I used to be really chronic. I used to smoke a lot of marijuana, but now I kind of slowed down on everything. I never did. No, I don't do shrooms. I do no psychedelics. And that's what, when people see meltology and I make little shorts, they'll say that to me. Oh, stop doing meth or stop doing DMT and all this other stuff. I never did none of that stuff, man. This realm is, no, I never did no shrooms, man. I've been offered many times. I found shrooms for people before, and got shrooms for people before, but I never did them, man. And I don't regret it or nothing. People say, "Oh, you can microdose and it's good for you," and so forth. Well, yeah, I'm good. Oh, four in the reflection, 17 put together. Huh. Okay, we're gonna have. I don't think I could handle psychedelics anymore, knowing about the melt. Well, I did do. I did not that I haven't did. I have did acid one time, and that was in the great state of Texas. I did something called four-way window pane, and I didn't know that you're supposed to split that four ways, and I did the whole thing, and and let me tell you, that was it for me. That never again, because I think I was looped for 24 hours, and I drove a '79 Thunderbird over a melted building there in Austin in a park called Hippie Hollow. True story. And that wrecked our vacation because there was four of us. A friend of mine named Mike and his friend, and we had to spend the rest of our money because we needed two tow trucks. Okay, we got Java Turan DLS that commented LGBT, huh? What's that about? Yeah, tryptamine. Yes, that's natural in our bodies. Um, One time I was at a AA meeting, and I said, and it was Thanksgiving, and they said, "Well, do you have anything to say?" And I said, "No, I'm still high on some tryptophan, and so I'll just pass and listen." And then the next guy spoke, and he says, "How dare you come here on drugs, man?" I go, "Dude, that's from Turkey, man. It got tryptophan in it." Everyone laughed, and his face turned red. You think we are all one? I think the electrical entity that we are all are individually. Yeah, I really think that we are all one. I think when you exit this body, you're back part on the real grid of electricity. So that's my own belief system. Um, there's something greater. They tell you, oh, look up, there's the Milky Way. And I know the Milky Way is a tear in our veil. And then they're going to tell you what Aurora Borealis is and all this other stuff. And Raven says, as Confucius once said, when a mosquito lands on a man's testicles, he quickly learns that not everything can be solved with violence. Thanks, Raven. Man, that made me laugh. Man, I needed a good laugh. Man, that's funny. I watched a bear video and he's tearing apart some camera system and he swirls the chain around and the and the and the chain hits him in the testicle and the bear just lays down and he's just saying ow just like a man would say when he got hit there. So that was funny. Thanks for sharing that, Raven. uh, Funny shit. It made me think of some of the riddles that been trying to create and ain't gone nowhere with it. But maybe if we had a riddle like that, we'd go farther. So I don't know who that last person was. Whatever their handle was, said something about LGBT or something like that. I don't know where that came from. Yeah, well, I went to start a stream that I titled "More Chaos Created Out of Meltology" and so forth, and then it just dumped. It dumped. I don't even know why it dumped, and then I opened it back up, and it didn't keep that. But then I go to my feed on my channel, and it shows two lives that were going to be created in a time frame that I didn't put down. One was 10 something, and another one was 5:40. I don't know. It was just odd as could be. So I can't even believe an hour passed already. No way. A whole hour just flew by. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna stop by that Brickathon in 6 hours, definitely. And I was hoping I went to Phil's obituary and I only see Curtis left a response, his boss left a response, and myself, nobody else. And I hope that more people go make a comment on Phil's obituary. Curtis will drop the link in there, and please do, because I would like to see thousands of people say something. Uh, a departure and a beginning for more people to see this, for his own family to see this. I really think that it's important, man. It's like, you know, just even where who took care of the funeral and so forth in a redesignated building of the past. So it just powerful to me, and how quickly he was here in our midst and is gone, man. And I see so many tragedies like that. Just the other day, my my son-in-law His father was stabbed to death by his girlfriend. And the dude was 95 years old. Well, it was his wife, actually. She's younger. And she stabbed him to death. And now she's in Arizona facing first degree murder. You know, and what was that about? No answer there. Just crazy. Just crazy stuff over and over, left and right. And just prior to that, a friend of mine that I was in the joint with, his parents left him some money. He had over $1 million in the bank, built a brand new home, and his old lady said that she fed him breakfast or lunch or something, and he says to her, "It's a good day to die," and kills himself. And he never spoke about this in his life, and I even questioned that. But nobody investigated after, and I guess that's a narrative they're going to stick with. Um, I don't know, man. I don't have the answers. But I know we all got to go, but, you know, I don't know. You know, and like suicide, that really hits home to me because there's a narrative about uh, my, my dad's grandpa, that would be my great grandpa. Wow, a friend of mine hung himself too. His name was Kenny Ross. He hung himself in Pontiac, Michigan. I remember. It was sad. Very sad. And then my dad told me, "Oh, he's in hell." I go, what the hell do you mean he's in hell? How can you make that call? Heaven and hell and all that. So, so my grandfather was a Mormon. My great grandfather was a Mormon, but he broke from him, and he was in Chicago and had some news, and he was bringing it back to Utah, and he was hanging out with some guy. The narrative my father gave me. He's no longer here. I wish I could have him in a video and explain the story. But he had some news about something about Chicago that tied Chicago and Utah together, and him and that guy died of carbon monoxide poisoning in his car. So, and then someone to write it up as suicide, and it doesn't make sense to me that a NASA uh, astronaut and my great grandfather would kill themselves in the car. So that don't make no lick of a sense. So huh. Yep, I'm drinking bean juice. I quit that for a whole month, but today I thought I'd make a stream and I'd have me a cup of coffee, and it tastes really good, man. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that cup of coffee, man. So bug insecticide, you know. So I'm drinking insecticide juice from a bean. And the narrative they give us that uh, coffee came about by some monks. They were observing some goats eating it, and they began to frolic and go crazy and stuff. So they brought that down out of that melted building where these goats were running around, and they made a soup of it. And then we've progressed from the soup to where we are today. So that's the narrative that they give us about bean water, bean juice. So homemade coffee is the best. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Anything homemade is the best, indeed. So I've been real stickler about what diet I have lately. I cut out all high fructose corn syrup. I read all the labels better. I try to make my own treats and so forth. Today I'm going to be making me some marijuana honey today after my girl gets up. So she gets up around 8. In about an hour she'll be up. Well, I hear you, man. The caffeine's a drug, so yeah, we're a bunch of eners. Any cool books I've been reading lately? Um, Not really. I haven't been reading that much lately because of. Oh yeah, you just eat meat, huh? You don't eat vegetables or nothing like that, brother. No fruits, just meat. What do they call that? They call that some kind of diet when you just eat meat. Well, there was this one cat who had cancer and he was treated from different hospitals all across the United States, all across the world, and he started eating rancid meat and beat the cancer. Huh? He ate meat that most individuals would eat. It would get us sick and kill us. But he worked himself up to eating rancid meat. I seen a documentary about the guy. It was pretty freaking incredible. Wow, Mr. Beast fan. Yeah, I've read the Bible, I've read the Torah, and many other books. I've read many different books about. I did some time, so I had a lot of time on my hands reading. Um, I've read a lot of books about the Catholic Church and how sinister that they really are, and how they're tied to the octagon and half the chaos that we're facing in this world today. So yeah, um, pretty bizarre realm that we live in, and those people who convolute the truth and hide books on us and the truth, super sinister group. They don't care who they kill. They don't care. Long as it uh, diverts the eye from them and further convolutes the truth, they're all right with it. Pineapple and peppers on that pizza, huh? They don't sound bad. I could eat that for breakfast, man. Oh, last night I had some beautiful homemade lasagna, breadsticks. Then I had a couple pieces of pizza there too, because some of the. That's right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Pineapple's really good. In my room, I got a baby pineapple I'm growing right now. Yep. Heck yeah. That sounds good. Made my mouth water. You guys talking about pizza with good stuff on there. So I like my vegetables. I love apples. I love pears, strawberries, blueberries. Um, I love a lot of fruits, man. Have a fruit salad. Have some cottage cheese in there. Um, I love bread too, man. I love homemade bread. I love German bread. I love Italian bread, breadsticks, cheese dip, and bacon. I eat bacon too. I love bacon, man. I slow cook it in the oven. Oh yeah, I love meat too, man. I'm a meat eater. A lot of people, oh, you eat meat? Yeah, I eat meat. I'm not a hunter, but if I had to, I would be a hunter because I'm a good shot and I know the things to do. I was raised by a Vietnam vet. We went hunting and all that stuff, man. Yeah, you know what? I'm with you, Curtis 47. Only thing I spend my time, I look at these channels. I look at who's saying what about maltology, and that's it. I can't stand the news. I catch it every once in a while. My girl watches the news. She wants to hear the weather and so forth, and I hear these douchebags talking and stuff like that. That's all I really do myself. I just and everywhere I go, I see it. Don't matter where I go. it's it's everywhere, and more people are catching on, and I think that's just awesome, you know. Um, so I appreciate y'all, every one of you, for your comments. Maybe some of them I didn't answer because I didn't like the one that came up in the feed, LGBT. I don't know what to say to you. What are you trying to get to, or and so forth. Um, I don't know. Excuse me. Everything, but I know one thing, that we've been lied to. The melt happened not too long ago. Um, all our world's fears, historical narrative is just garbage. You know, San Francisco was here, built up, and they give you garbage narratives. So yeah, that's it, Mr. B. Some of them questions out there you just ignore. I agree. And well, thank you, Curtis 47. And I will say this: I never wanted nothing except the world to know. I don't want you know, maybe I got a dog's life left in me. I got some grandbabies that this realm is getting worse and worse and worse, and I don't want that for him. You know, I take my little 5-year-old. He just turned 5 around, and when he was 3, he'd be going on adventures with me, and he'd call shit out before I would. He'd say, "Look, Grandbob, red bricks," and we go over to this big rock, and sure enough, there's melted bricks in it. So I'm trying to raise him up. With a greater narrative. That's his name. Yep, Storm. He is an awesome little dude, man. He changed my life. So, yeah, I thank all you guys like Curtis 47, Mr. Beast fan. I see you guys everywhere, and I know that you guys are just about maltology because I see you on, I'll go to a feed I never heard from before. And here's Curtis 47, and there's Mr. Beast fan. And I look, where's the rest of the fellas? But I always see you, and I appreciate you coming by, making comments, because I've been shadow banned by my own community, by my own family. They think I'm crazy. My mother and father think I'm crazy. My stepfather, that is my real father's dead. Uh, so he died at age 74 a couple years back. So, well, we got not many hours away until Dean and Spartan Red are going to have a brickathon, a meltification, uh, talking about it. And I'm going to stop by, and I hope to see you all there. You too, Leon F. Bean. Sir, thank you for all your comments. I hope I see you again. Jump Man. Um, who else came by here? I know who else? I'm just kind of, I can scroll down and see who's on the feed. That's what I'm doing right now, as it looks like. Uh, yeah, that's all that was here. I just was trying to see them weird ones. Let's see who else was there. Nobody else, just the regulars. And thank you coming by. Davita, thanks for stopping by. Curtis 47 again. So yeah, just the regulars. So thanks for stopping by. Linda says hi to all you meltheads here. For those who know Linda, that's my red brick chick. Hey, Deborah, I just seen someone do a mirror of your channel. Um, and their handle, I think, was called Meltology or something like that. And they did a break or a mirror image of red brick chick Deborah out of Australia. I think that's where Deborah works. And I left a comment that says, yeah, the problem with the back of that building is that's where the red brick chick has her lunch break and she's smoking it up back there. Just to put a little comedy in the game. So, yeah, Mr. Beast fan, I'll let her know when she gets up. Um, Linda's got a lot of things we're trying to sort through with doctors and so forth. That gal is um, She's been through so much suffering, man. It's unbelievable. She's had polio as a child. She's had melanoma cancer. Um, she's fell down, broke her arm, and was undiagnosed and went to work with a broke arm. And man, my woman's tougher than most men I know, swear. Because I don't think I could have carried my ass to work like Linda did. She is a fucking trooper. I love you, Linda. If you ever see this video, know it's your red brick dick saying I love you. So peace out, you red brick souls. I love y'all, man. Um, and here I get a little choked up because I say that I think about Phil. Huh? Well, gotta go. I'm soft sometimes, huh? Because it's like, hey, my brother's gone. I really didn't even get to shake his hand, give him a hug, and say, hey, you're another real one that sees the shit, man. Not the garbage that we've been given. So, all y'all, like Curtis 47 made a comment on Phil's obituary, leave a message to the family how much he's missed in the story he was telling. Because that's the real deal. So, the sun is up here. We're going to roll out and start the day. I got some more stuff to do in the backyard. I'm cleaning one of my spare room for my grandson. We're going to turn it in his little room because he's going to be spending the night tomorrow. So that's about it here. I'll see you guys in the stream at Laughing Eagle and Dean's. So let's do this, fellas. Thanks for stopping by, Leon F. Bean. Um, you sound like you have a lot of knowledge. You want to stop by and get involved with the red bricks. Let's do it. And all you meltologists streaming and doing that stuff like Pants on the Ground, Mr. Meltology, Desmond, all you guys, man. And then you guys who support it like Curtis 47 and Mr. Beast fan. You use the red brick souls, man. Thanks, man. Love your neighbor like you love yourself. Peace. I'm out of here. Because the battery's about ready to die on this bitch anyway. Peace. I'm out of here. What the hell? How you get out of this here? I hit a button and it says start a poll. Huh? We're gonna jump out of this right now. See ya. Sorry I didn't see you, Eli. Say hi to Ginger Grin.